Hey there guys, what is going on? Today is patch day and we've received a new set of notes for this update. So we're going to take a look for a little bit of time, maybe 8, 9, 10 minutes or so to see how we go with these patch notes here. And I'll give my thoughts about some of the changes that we've got here because it is a very, very exciting day today. We've got new maps, a new operator, which I think is available in a bundle in the store, bug fixes, new game modes, new playlists, weapon balancing, and some pretty big changes to sound seemingly. So it is an awesome, awesome day to be a Modern Warfare player. I think there was also some kind of rumor of a free gift, like a Christmas gift pack thing, if you did check the item shop. So I'll keep an eye out for that one. I might try and put up the tweet that I did see about that. So, like I said, this is a fantastic time for Call of Duty. If you're not typically aware, the Call of Duty normally has two launches, you could say. The first is obviously when the game does come out, so typically around October, November, that kind of time. And the second launch is basically for the holidays and Christmas period where loads more people get the game and are playing it for the first time. Should be loads of Christmas noobs running around very soon, so this update will help keep those players interested for longer, and it is very exciting times because of that. But before we do get into the patch notes, I would love it if you guys could take a second to drop a like on this one. It really does let me know that you guys are enjoying what I'm putting out at the moment, so let's try and get 5 likes on this one. The support has been absolutely crazy at the moment, so let's keep it going. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any more of my videos. So getting into the patch notes here, starting at the top, we've got some pretty good stuff straight off the bat. Like we've got a new operator, Nikto. Not 100% sure exactly what he looks like. We'll have to go into the game to find that one out. We've got 3 maps with the Shipment, Vacant, and Winter Docks, which is a winter-themed version of the Docks gunfight map. I mean, like, I'm not 100% sure about the Winter Dock stuff. I'm not a massive player of the gunfight game modes, so I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be any good or not, but I think Dock's alright, so, I mean, Dock has to be an okay map if they made it twice, so we'll see how we go. But, like, Shipment and Vacant, man, that bring back some pretty wild memories. I'm pretty looking forward to jumping into the grenade and shotgun spam like the old school days. It is going to be pretty crazy in there. Vacant too, as I said, there are very good memories of Vacant. Like, if the Dom flags are in the exact same spot as they were in previous games, there's going to be some pretty wild stomps in pub games. Like, it's pretty crazy. The A flag, I think it's the A flag, is out in the middle of that field. You just get, like, the air support, and you can't take the A flag, so they're stuck inside. Going to be pretty good. Like, pretty wild, I think. 2 absolute fan favorite maps, no doubt. Like, I'm pretty sure that they're going to bring back some more, like a load of fan favorite maps eventually over the coming months and stuff like that. So I'm pretty keen to see some Modern Warfare 3 maps. I want to get Dome and Hard Hat in this game. I think that'd be pretty cool. Some of my favorite maps from one of my favorite games. Like, I'm pretty convinced they're going to be releasing like Rust and all the other fan favorite maps. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Terminal at some point. Some people don't like Terminal. I like Terminal. So we're going to see some of that. So hopefully we do get those game modes, or maps rather. So maybe one day. I've not played an awful lot of Gunfight, like I said, so I'm not too familiar with the docks, but hopefully it is a good map with a new wintry theme. So there is some good stuff here. We have, of course, also got a playlist update. Vacant is getting an own playlist, so Vacant Shipment 24/7. That's sick. You love to see things like that. It's just, I feel like they should add some kind of Season 1 mosh pit with all the maps that they've added so far. Maybe that'll happen in the coming weeks. Like, a playlist that was, like, imagine this, just a playlist that would Vacant, Shipment, Crash, and Shoot House. That'd be sick. Imagine how many people would just sit in that playlist all day, like literally 24/7, just playing some of the best maps in this game, no doubt. I guess they put a lot of work into the lesser liked maps in this game. Like, I imagine that quite a lot of work went into making like Piccadilly and stuff like that. So I guess they want people to play those too. So they haven't just chucked all the maps that people actually liked in the same playlist so that none of the other maps get played. That's probably why there's no map veto either. Like, they worked hard on some of the maps and they want to see you play them, I guess. So it's kind of hard to say. Or even imagine this, like a close quarters playlist with those 4 that I mentioned already. Hackney Yard, Gunrunner. That'd be sick, man. You get some good maps in there, and if you're watching this, Infinity Ward, make a close quarters playlist with Vacant, Shipment, Crash, Shoot House, Hackney Yard, and Gunrunner, and that would be probably the best Christmas present that you could give us, I think. We've also got Cranked being added as its own separate playlist, so if you don't know what Cranked is, basically, it's TDM. It's pretty standard TDM, but you get a movement speed, and I think you run around way faster when you get cranked, so you go around looking for more kills to keep your crank streak up, and if you don't keep getting kills, like if you don't get a kill after like 15, 10 seconds or whatever, you blow up. It's pretty cool stuff, pretty exciting, so it should help keep campers moving instead of sitting in buildings all the time, so this could be the perfect game mode for this game. I'm really looking forward to playing some crank, because it should be pretty good in this game. Like, if you force people to run around in this game, it's actually really, really good, so hopefully this does do its job. Pretty exciting stuff. And the original gunfight playlist is back, which I'm sure will please loads of people since they added the OSP playlist in like the previous update. I didn't play an awful lot, but I saw that Ninja was pretty mad about it, so that's pretty cool, I guess. There are also a couple of new Spec Ops missions in Strongbox and Disinform and Bomb Squad here. I'm not 100% sure about these, so maybe I'll take a look at them. I'm not a massive fan of the Spec Ops mission stuff, so if you are a fan of that, you've got a bit more stuff to play with, so I know some people like it, so that should be pretty cool for you guys. Moving on to some of the bug fixes here. Some of the more interesting ones are the update required loop. Like there's a loop when you turn your game on, it'll say you need an update. It'll do the update. You go back into the game, it'll need an update. So hopefully that is fixed for anyone experiencing that issue. I've not seen it myself, but some things are quite annoying enough and affected by enough people that they have to fix them. So there is a bug, or there was a bug, which got you new item notifications, even if there wasn't anything to see. Like that's fixed. So hopefully we don't get that coming up anymore. Like sometimes you just get this random item notification, you check all your things and it's just, there's nothing there. Or it should tell you what's new. Like there should be a notification and it's like, hey, you got a new attachment for this gun, rather than like having to remember. Maybe that's something they can work on, but that should be fine. There also seems to be a new menu option which lets you pick a specific trial. So that down here is added a new menu that allows players to launch a specific trial. So if you are still trying to get your battle pass ranked up, you can spam the parkour mission now. You get that double XP token and spam the parkour missions to get those fast battle pass ranks. That should be pretty good. That should be pretty cool in my opinion. People experiencing stick drift with an Xbox One controller, hopefully you don't see that problem anymore. Like that's kind of a big deal. Like I've seen a couple of people complaining about that on Twitter and stuff like that. That shouldn't be a thing anymore. Fixed for some players experiencing drift while using an Xbox One controller. That's just bizarre. Like hopefully you don't see that anymore. Hopefully that is fixed. So there also seems to be some new options for auto sprint, which is actually kind of interesting. Influential several settings for auto sprint options, always sprint, always super sprint, and like I don't mind that too much. There's nothing specific about that. I don't really care about that. So if you are interested in that, like that's a big deal for some people. Other than that, there isn't anything super interesting here. Like there's some good things, but yeah, there's nothing super interesting here. They've also added an auto move feature for mouse and keyboard and controller, which is an interesting addition. Again, like I'm not really interested in that, but those kind of changes, so auto move and auto sprint changes, those are specifically targeted at people who can't play the game in a certain way. So people with disabilities, like something wrong with their hands, missing fingers and stuff like that. It just makes more people are able to play the game. So that's why there's like the Xbox One adaptive controller. They just want more people to be able to play their game. So the more options they add for people who struggle doing specific things in games, the better it's going to be. Like I have no problem with that at all. It's always good to get more people playing this game. I think there was a clip going around of a dude with like one hand. He clutched out an S&D round and managed to pull it off. So it's always good to get more people playing this game in specific ways. Like you always want features that let pretty much everyone play. Like it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to worry about that too much. I'm sure not that much time went into making this, so you don't have to worry about, they're not removing skill-based matchmaking so they can work on auto running. And it's just, it doesn't work like that. Those changes are good. Those changes are always fantastic in games like these. So this is one of the larger changes that we see here in the audio section. There are a couple of large changes to audio in my opinion. Footsteps have a reduced audible range of third-person footsteps. So this should help make the footsteps reduced overall. Like you shouldn't hear them as loud as you used to, hopefully. Like this is always going to be a positive thing. The softer you hear footsteps, the less inclined you are to camp. Like you got to go searching for people rather than just sitting and waiting for someone to walk around the corner. This is good. Like this is exactly what you want. You want these changes that just like the sound has always been too loud in this game. So like you just want this. This is good. Like there's not much else I can say about it. Footsteps having a reduced audible range is always good. There's also been an increased occlusion on footsteps, which if I understand, I looked up the word occlusion, wasn't 100% sure what it meant. So I think the meaning for occlusion is that when sound gets produced in this game, it needs to get blocked by something. So for it to get to you, it has to have a way to get there. So it might be under a door or over the top of the wall. So it needs to be able to travel to you. So if there is increased occlusion, it should have a harder time getting to you. So it should be quieter overall. This should add to the change that I talked about before with the reduced audible range. So if more stuff is actually able to block the sound that tries to get to you, that should be good. Like, I mean, it's a little bit tricky to explain, but I think that's what it means. And I think that's what they're going for. They want footsteps to be reduced in this game. So that should be a good change there overall. And this is also kind of a change. Fixed for air vehicles not occluding properly. So Like the air vehicles, like the VTOL warship and everything, like all the helicopters and shit are too loud. Like general occlusion adjustments to all air vehicles, like this should make those loud sounds. Like I think it's the precision airstrike comes in and it's burst your eardrums. It's that loud. So hopefully the sounds are actually reduced properly. Like if you're in a building, that sound shouldn't get to you as easily as if you were outside. So hopefully that actually does occlude properly if I'm reading that correctly, and that's what that means. So that should be good. Other than that, there's not an awful lot here. Adjustments, various Foley sounds that played at a larger range than footsteps during ADS crouch movements. Not 100% sure what that exactly means, but again, just adjustments to sound in this game are always going to be good, so should be good there. There are also some weapon adjustments here. We've got the hip fire spread for the 357 snake shot has been adjusted so it is consistent regardless of stance. There's no real way for me to know if this is a buff or a nerf since it wasn't actually measured, like nobody was measuring this previously, so I guess consistency is a good thing in these kind of games, so hopefully we get a more consistent 357 as a result of this, but like I said, it's hard to tell whether this is a buff or a nerf or just sort of a decent change overall. It's hard to tell, but once I start mowing people down with the 357, hopefully we will know more. There is also reduced flinch on the three weapons we see here, the Kar98K, the EBR14, and the MK2 carbine. This is good. You want these changes on your new marksman rifles. They're trying to make them more competitive with some of the faster and better handling weapons in this game. Like, these weapons are good. Like, these weapons, the Kar98K, the EBR14, and the Mark II carbine, these are good. Like, they're good guns already, but sometimes they struggle. If you don't fire first, you'll just have no chance of getting that shot on target. So with reduced flinch on these bad boys, this should be good. Like, these weapons, like I said, are actually really good. Like, they're really satisfying to use. If you get the Mark II or MK2 carbine shots, you get those going, you feel like an absolute hero. So hopefully this balances them a little bit better, and the reduced having less flinch on these guns is always going to be a positive. Like, sometimes I feel like you get screwed out of kills because of flinch. It's hard enough to use single shot rifles in this game. Like, coming up against an MP5, you've really got no chance as it is. So hopefully this makes them more consistent overall and allows you to get some of those better shots on people. And lastly, the rechamber time for the Kar98K has been reduced overall, so that should be good. Like, it should make the Kar98K, which is already a good weapon, more effective at fighting automatic weapons, so get that second shot off as fast as you can. Should be a little bit better. But yeah, other than that, there's not an awful lot here that's super interesting. There's several fixes were implemented to prevent crash and improve stability. So if you were experiencing some stability issues, this should hopefully help what you are after. Fixes several exploits in the Operation Survival mode. Other than that, there's not a super amount of interesting stuff here. There's some changes to the Call of Duty League stuff, like viewing the cameras and stuff like that, Codcaster, see the stats, domination stuff. So that's actually the picture of the dock stuff. So that looks actually pretty sweet. That's a nice looking map. So we might actually jump into Gunfight at some point and see if we can see this. So yeah, there's some pretty good changes here. But other than those that I've read already, there's nothing super significant here. And if you do want to read the patch notes yourself, I'll leave a link in the description so you can go over what I did skip here. This is a good patch. Can't really complain about this patch. Obviously, they're going to get people who are complaining about not removing skill-based matchmaking, the minimap changes, the things that people have been complaining about since the start. But I love getting new things in this game to play with, so I will likely be making a video or two on some of the new maps in the coming days, so do keep an eye out for those. Plenty of videos to come out for this game, so make sure you do leave a like and do subscribe if you are new around here. It very much helps me out, and I do appreciate it an awful lot. It really does let me know that you guys are enjoying what's going on at the moment. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Bye!